Sophie and Jumong Part 7. The sound of shouting woke her. It wasn't inside. It was out there, close, chaotic, and real. Sophie's eyes shot open. A loud thud followed, then the blinding flicker of a camera through her curtain. She sat up fast. Something wasn't right. Heart pounding, she threw off her blanket, bare feet hitting the floor as she rushed to the window. With one hand, she pulled the curtain aside. That's when she saw them. Reporters, dozens of them. Cameras hoisted like weapons, microphones in outstretched arms, voices overlapping like thunder. A wall of people had formed just beyond the hostel's gate, standing where only delivery bikes usually passed. Her name was on one of their signs. Sophie stumbled back from the window, nearly knocking over the small chair beside her desk. Her hands trembled as she grabbed her phone. The screen was glowing with notifications. She tapped into social media and froze. Photos of her and Jumong flooded the screen. From the park, from their stroll. Somehow, someone had followed them. Then came the headlines. Lee Jumong's secret companion. Mystery foreigner spotted with Korea's youngest business giant. Elite scion seen publicly with unknown woman shocks fans. She blinked rapidly, trying to breathe. Comments came next. Some kind, most not. She's not even Korean. He's always been too soft. This proves it. Is she a maid? A language student? A climber? Sophie slowly sat down on the bed, her hands pressed tightly against the phone. Her mind struggled to make sense of what was happening. The walls of her small room felt like they were closing in. A knock on the door made her flinch. "Sophie, are you okay?" It was a girl from across the hall, whispering. I think they're here for me," Sophie whispered back, unsure if the words even made sense. "Don't open the door. They're everywhere. Reception says they came at dawn." Sophie didn't respond. She leaned against the door once it shut, sliding slowly down to the ground. She buried her face in her knees, curling in as if the noise might stop. Her phone buzzed again. A call. "Jumong," she answered, pressing the phone to her ear like it was the last solid thing in the world. "Sophie." His voice was low and steady. She didn't speak, just listened. "Sophie, are you all right?" Her voice was a whisper. "They found me." "I know," he said. "I'm sorry." "They're everywhere. It's too much." "Don't open the door. Don't talk to anyone," he said firmly. "I'm coming." The call ended. She stared at the phone screen a moment longer, heart thudding. Then the screen lit up again. "Gina," Sophie answered with a weak, "Hello." "Sophie, I saw the news. Are you okay?" Gina's voice was full of concern. Sophie didn't know what to say. She gave a short breath, like a laugh and a cry together. "I don't know. I'm scared." "I'm coming back," Gina said. "I'll pack up now and take the first train. You shouldn't go through this alone." Tears welled in Sophie's eyes. "Thank you." "I mean it. Stay calm. Don't listen to anything outside. We'll figure it out." The call ended. Outside, someone shouted her name again. "Sophie, one question. Are you dating Lee Jumong?" She froze. The drone buzzed outside her window now, a flying camera. She backed away again and stared at the curtain. A message arrived. "Look outside." She hesitated. Then slowly, with her fingers tight around the curtain's edge, she parted it. Through the chaos, a car approached. Black, sleek. The crowd turned. Cameras shifted direction. The door opened. And there he was. Jumong stepped out like a wall between her and the world. Calm, tall, unbothered. Cameras flashed like lightning, but he didn't blink. He walked forward with purpose, gaze locked onto the building. Sophie's lips parted. Her hand reached for the glass. "He came," she whispered. And suddenly everything felt less terrifying, because she wasn't alone anymore. No one moved when Madame Lee was angry, especially not when her son was involved. "Call him again," Madame Lee ordered sharply, pacing the wide sitting room in her silk robe. The assistant bowed low. "Madam, we've called 6 times." "Again!" She turned to the television, the volume raised. The screen flickered between photos of her son and that girl, the foreigner. Her lips pressed into a thin line as if the very image could stain the screen. On the sofa beside her, the tablet lay glowing with headlines. CEO Lee Jumong linked to unknown foreigner, family silent amid storm, public stunned by scandalous romance, royal tier business, air scene with non-Korean woman, approval in question. Her nostrils flared. "How dare he?" she hissed, voice shaking. "How dare he parade around with someone like that without so much as a word to me?" The assistant cleared her throat gently. "Ma'am, he may be on his way to the woman. Reports say her hostel was surrounded." That word, hostel, twisted her face with disgust. "He brought shame to our name and put us in the tabloids with someone living in a hostel." Her heel slammed against the marble floor as she spun. Her eyes flashed with the kind of fury only a mother of a dynasty could summon. "Do you know what this will do to our image before the anniversary? Guests are already arriving." She pointed at the screen, nearly spitting out the words. "This? This is the woman he dares to present to the world?" The maid quietly removed the broken cup and retreated like a shadow. Just then, another voice entered the room. "You're overreacting." It was her husband. Chairman Lee stepped in, dressed neatly in his morning suit. He moved with quiet command, each step heavy with decades of authority. He didn't flinch at the storm before him. He never did. "I suppose you've seen the news?" she snapped. "I have." "And?" He sat down in the wide armchair by the fireplace and poured himself a fresh cup of tea, unbothered. "Let the boy live. And that's where you forget who he is," the father replied gently. "Jumong has always done what's right. But love is where you don't get to control him." She looked at her husband, something defiant rising in her throat. "And if I don't stop this now, what do you think will happen?" He sipped his tea slowly before answering. "He'll stop listening to you, and once that happens, you lose him completely." Silence settled in the room for a moment, but the fire burned in her eyes. Her phone buzzed on the table again. She didn't even look at it. "He's still not answering." "Because he knows what you'll say," Chairman Lee replied. "He's making a mistake," she said, voice low now, seething. "The whole country will think we're careless." "Let them think. As long as our son is whole, I'm at peace with what they say." She stared at him as if seeing a stranger. He put the cup down. "And if you truly care about our son, if you want to be part of his future, you will stop this madness and trust him." A long silence hung between them. She turned her head toward the window. Beyond the glass, the estate gardens swayed in the wind, perfectly pruned, serene, obedient, unlike her son. At that very moment, in another part of the city, her phone buzzed again. "Incoming call. Yun Hae-rin." She didn't answer. But in the other wing of the house, her daughter, Jumong's sister, did. Their cameras perched high, their voices loud and persistent. "Do you know who she is?" His face, calm, sharp, unreadable. Not a single blink as the cameras exploded in his direction. Not a single glance toward the shouting. He looked only at the window above the second floor. Only at her. He moved through the reporters like they didn't exist, never changing pace. A few reached out toward him, one even yelling, "Sir, do you deny the relationship?" But he didn't flinch. He disappeared inside the hostel. Sophie backed away from the window. A knock came at the door moments later, not loud, not desperate, just steady. She opened it. And there he was, not in a magazine, not on a screen, not in a world far removed from hers. Here, with her. He closed the door quietly behind him. "I told you I'd come." She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came. So he stepped forward, slowly. Reaching up, he gently cupped her face. "Are you okay?" She tried to nod, but it collapsed halfway. "I was so scared," she whispered. I've never had cameras shouting my name before." "I know," he said. "I'm sorry I didn't protect you in time." "You didn't do this," she said softly. "They did." He looked around the room. Plain walls, one small mirror, a creaky desk. The thin curtains didn't even block the sunlight fully, much less the outside world. No place for peace, no place for safety. "You can't stay here," he said. She blinked. "It's not safe," he continued. "Not anymore." Her eyes searched his. "Then what do I do?" "I have a house, private, guarded. You'll be safe there." She took a shaky breath. "Can Gina come?" "Of course." He didn't answer with words. He just wrapped his arms around her. Her head pressed against his chest, and for the first time since dawn broke, she let herself cry. Not loud, not messy, just soft sobs, like something breaking open after being held too long. Jumong stood firm, his chin resting lightly on the top of her head. One hand on her back, the other in her hair, fingers weaving through the strands like a silent promise.